Hey everybody, it's Butch Oxendine, Executive Director of ASGA, and it's a pleasure to have you this afternoon. Appreciate you coming and sitting in on this. And we're going to do a little bit of review of ASGA's resources today. And we're going to you can ask me questions, and the chat is there for you to do that. So please, I'm going to just give a quick overview, and then if there are questions throughout the time that I'm showing you the resources, then just fire away with chat questions. And this is just one of ASGA's ongoing series of webinars. Today is just a tour of our resources. They are vast. They are improving all the time, and hence, from time to time, we'll do a review of what these resources are, how they can help you. And those of you that are members may or may not know all the ways that this can be of use to you in your student government and for you as an advisor or officer or member of the association. So let's get started, shall we? Let's get started, and here we go. So this is the main ASGA website that you're seeing right now up there on the screen, and just make sure, if you will, please let me know if you're able to see that, the main ASGA website on your screen, and just tell me if that's the case. That would be great. Appreciate that. And if you can chat and just say that you can see it. Anybody wants to put in that would be awesome. And this main ASGA website is where we start off. We start off there. And ASGA, what is this? It's the group for student governments. All we do is student government training and research and analysis and conferences in the normal time frame. And so we've got a couple conferences coming up, and I'll show you them too. But this website is a member website. So if you're a member, then we start off here by going into the member login. And the membership is based on your size enrollment. So any of you that are not members, you're welcome to join. Dues are very inexpensive, and you can always find that at the main site here. Looking under membership dues, it shows you all the dues based on size of school. So it starts at $397 up to the largest sizes, which are $1,097. So very simple there. And once you're a member, as I was showing you, you can log in. And these basic areas here are the key to ASGA. The database, which is everything about student government everywhere in the country and even across the world. We do have members and resources from other countries. But this database, I'll show it to you real quick. I happen to be working on a school myself. Our team updates data all the time. And so here we go. I'm going to look at a school I just updated myself today. I was working on a school in Montana State Billings, and I'm going to show you a profile of one of the schools. Now, this is Montana State University Billings. This is their main profile. And then on the right, you can see examples of additional information that describes their organization. So if we go to student government details, it shows their contact information, their Facebook page. Sometimes we'll have social networks if you have multiple social networks. It shows their budget. It shows the number of members they have, and number of clubs and organizations, and how they fund their organization, all these things. This is searchable. And then officers and members. This shows their officers and members. Here's the president, vice senator. Here's a senator just looking at a profile. By the way, any of you can control your own profile in our database, and ASGA maintains a database on your school, every one of you that are present today, and you can always update that right here. I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to go right here. Here's how you update that data. So you go over to the update section, and then you complete any of these forms that I'm pointing to. Hopefully you can see that. And so you can always update your information at any time. But again, this profile should have 13 different sections, everything from documents to your elections to campus media, accomplishments, all these things, even compensation. Are any of you compensated? Question we already have is, how do we get our passwords? Well, Tara, all you got to do is email us. You can email me directly since we're talking today. butch@asgaonline.com, butch@asgaonline.com. I'm putting that in right now just to remind you how to reach us. Whoops, here we go. Mr. Typist here we go. And that's how to reach us. And just what we need here, Tara, is your email, your complete name and your title. That would apply for all of your officers and members. Name, title, and email, including advisors and administrators that you want to have passwords. So you can, if you're a second term, we probably already have your password and already have your email, but we want to update the officers for this year. Why? Because guess what? We've stored data on your government for almost 20 years now, and we have information on your previous officers and members, etc. So we want to store that, make sure it's current and accurate. In this case, this senator at Montana State is from 1920, but I also found, sometimes it's hard because we count on you to give us this information, but I was able to locate the 2021 officers for this school through the school newspaper and some other ways as well. So there you go, and your profile. Let's look at, if you don't mind, let's look at Baton Rouge. Since Tara's been giving me some input here, let's look at your profile. And I don't want to embarrass anybody. This is up to you to give information and to provide more as much as you want about your government. But see, Baton Rouge Community College is a platinum member, been involved with us for many years. And we have, let's see if we even have a profile for, there's Tara right there. So Tara, we've already got you in the system. We've got a little bit of information, not much, but we really need your email. We don't even have that for some reason. Yeah, we do. There it is right here. So we do have an email, but we should have your school email. And if there's some schools actually have a position-specific email, like president, you see. So we're going to fix any of these profiles that you want to update. You can look at yours and then let us help you update it. We'll be glad to do that. This database, why is this relevant? Because for all of you, when you're working on student government, there's likely somebody has done something that you're trying already. And so we want to be able to compare with other schools. For any of your institutions, there are similar schools around the country, probably in your own state as well. So we want to look at schools by factors that make you similar. And here it is right here. You search by all these different parameters, by state, by affiliation, what type of school are you? Religious affiliation, if you have it. The size of the city matters. If you're in New York City, it's a lot harder to get people involved in things in a normal time than it is when you're in a small town or you're in a rural setting. So these are things that you can search. You can look at any school across the country. And so I urge you to do that. And see this right here, I'm pointing to it, I need help. We want ASGA to be a resource for you at any time when you're working on student government. So when you're working on it and you come to the website here and you can't find what you need, ask us for help. We have a chat right now, and I'm going to actually do that right now. This is live, and I'm going to put in my info just to show you and start. We have one of our people at the office who's live right now. I did not tell her that I was going to do this, so hopefully she's going to respond. So Shauna is on. There she is. Hey, Shauna, just testing. And this is just showing how quickly you can hear us and get with us when you need that help. And so you can get help right live, and that's the point of it, so that you're not having to struggle to find your what you need. And so let's just move on here. We're going to close, and let's go to the next point. I'm going to show you our toolbox, and this toolbox is designed to be a resource when anything you're working on student government, you can find something about it. For example, we've got all these different tools. We have the effectiveness test. This is a test for you to find out your grade as a student government. Also, test your administrators. You can find out how your institution sees your government through this test. The effectiveness test, I urge you to take that. We actually have webinar videos and workshop videos and handouts. The companion to that is the Test Your Administrators test. And what that does, it's helpful to know how administration sees your government so you can understand what your status is. That's going to determine how strong you are this year, things you can accomplish. So we're looking at the toolbox again, and there's all kinds of things here: how to make students care about your student government, better meetings, there's resources there, obviously documents, templates, and other things too. I'm not going to go through each and every one of them, but you are welcome to comment or ask questions at any time, and unmute yourself if you want. That's fine. There's a few of us enough where I think that could still work. So if you have a question, please feel free to do that. If you're having trouble with it, let me know. But even surveying students and other resources too, like our webinars, and we've done many of them in the past few years, including these all here. You can look at all these webinars that are available we've recorded for you to go back and look at, and particularly relevant at a time like now, obviously. So,
hey, Butch, is it okay if I ask a question? I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead, ask a question.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Todd Mitchell, BRCC SGA president, serving my second term. The relationship with our administration is not strong. As a student leader, I wish more of my officers were here, but we feel like we don't have the full support from it. Man, when I say that, for example, dean of students or the chancellor. So what advice would you give those of us who are having those same challenges?
Okay, so Tara, I urge you to do this test right here, including all of your officers. Do it individually, take the test on your own. What this test is going to say is, how are we seen? If you're seen as an ally, that's our goal. Some schools don't see student government as a useful resource to the institution. Why is that? I'll tell you why. I've done this 35 years, right? And my experience is when a student government is not well respected by administrators, there are reasons for that. The government in the past may have been very poor. It may have burned bridges with previous administrators and student leaders. It may not be very effective right now as a government. Has it embezzled money? Seriously, I've seen schools where student government members bought each other's cars out of student fee money. This has actually happened in the past. And so our objective is we want to find out, how does a school see you? Because then ASGA can help you strategize, how do we improve that relationship? We got to know where we are. A lot of administrators, here's the truth too, I don't care which school you are, they see you as children playing at government until you prove otherwise. And so somebody like me, I've been doing this a long time. I could be a dean at your school or a VP or a president, some schools, and I've done this so long, my relationship with you has got to be based on mutual respect that's earned over time. And so that's the challenge. The challenge is, can your student government show administrators that you're up to the task, that you're not children playing at government? The term is in loco parentis, the Latin meaning in place of parent. College administrators can't help it. They see their students as children that they need to protect. And that's our challenge in student government, is to get past that. So we have a resource here, this test that'll work with you to understand your status. And then secondly, we can privately help you. And you can always write me. A lot of this, when you're a member, we can help you at no charge. That's part of your membership dues. We can advise you on strategy. And there's my email in the chat again. So I would urge you to take this test, all of you, and even get your administrators to take it. What that does is get them thinking about what your role is. Some of them really, student government is not in the top of their priority list, let's be honest. And there are a lot of reasons for that, good or bad. But I urge you to have administrators that you work with take this test on their own. When you finish this test, it's going to come to ASGA. It's going to become part of your profile. Then you'll know where you are right now. Are you do you have a great relationship or not? And it's going to tell us what status you are. So I urge you to do that. Okay, other questions, fire away anytime. We have plenty of time here to take questions, so just do that if you have any. But the toolbox is it's designed to be resources for you at any time or anything you're working on. And we've developed these over the years, publicity tools, finance tools, all these things. And in each of this one is one I'm really proud of. We're about to unveil a new resource, and that is your student government website. And we have a new resource that is going to let you score your website and how good it is or not good, so that particularly in times like we're in, we need a good web presence, social network presence, and ASGA has developed these tools here. What should a great student government website include? And that's for all of us. I don't care which school, size of school is relevant. It is relevant because right now, particularly, since you can't see your students in person many times, we've got to have a way to reach them. And most of us don't, our websites aren't very good. But within another few days, we're going to have a test you can actually score yourself on and know where you are, what weaknesses you have, the things you've got to do. Here are basics, for example, that your website's got to include. The name of your government, mission, contacts. I mean, it's amazing how often we don't even have current officers at a student government website. But this, in just a few days, you're going to have that as a resource. We did a webinar on this a while back. We've got all kinds of articles. There's audio files. This is designed and what if you don't have a website? Well, it's time to use social networks in place of that, but we can talk privately and help you develop one. They're very inexpensive to do nowadays. So within minutes, you can have a website through WordPress or some other service, assuming your college will allow that. That, again, is part of our relationship with administrators. If we can't have a website, that speaks to a bigger problem, okay? So that speaks to a bigger problem. We've got to have a student government web presence, meaning a website and then social networks, too, that you keep in touch with students on. Okay, let's go on to any other questions about the toolbox, any sections of the toolbox. Any of you want to unmute yourselves? You can ask me a question too. If you don't want to use the chat feature, please just do that. Any other questions before I move on? Please just fire away. Be glad to answer them.
Do we just ask questions about the toolbox or?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. I can hear you and ask away.
I didn't actually have a question about the toolbox. I had a question about something else on the site. Is that okay to ask, or should I ask?
Yeah, go ahead. It may be jumping ahead, but that's totally fine. Go ahead.
I had a question about the store feature that I saw on the website.
Okay.
So I noticed there were discounts. So each of our schools have so are discounts given based on the status of the school with ASGA?
Yeah, so our store is, just like any organization, there's product that we offer, right? So bags, et cetera. You're seeing it on the screen, I hope. But here's an example right here. We have discounts based on your status in ASGA. And over the years, many of your schools, like Baton Rouge, they've been a member for more than 10 years. So they're in that platinum level, and your discount will be based on that. So we can help you find that out. Is it ISA?
ISA.
ISA, sorry about that. So ISA, you just write me privately. We'll find out what your status is, and then we can let you know on that. Thank
you. Appreciate it.
Okay, so other questions, just fire away, anything you've got. And again, this is the toolbox, but I do want to mention our conferences, obviously, with situation that we're in right now, not doing them like we have. We do have plans in September to produce our conferences in Orlando, Florida, assuming that's permitted. But we are planning to do that training conference in mid-September. You can see September 11th and 12th will be the dates for that. That's our normal time right now. In fact, we would be doing it this weekend if it weren't the way it is right now. But these are training conferences. If you cannot personally attend, we have developed a couple of things I wanted to share. One is we are going to live cast select workshops from the event, so you'll be able to chime in like a couple of you have done, and it's going to be live using this new camera equipment that ASGA has invested in. It's made for live streaming, so that's going to be an option if you can't personally attend. My vision is if you can't personally travel, that maybe you can, as a group, attend the conference nonetheless. So wherever you are, hopefully some of you are back on your campus, that you would be able to, as a group, attend the conference just like you would have had you traveled to Florida. So I can describe that more at another time, privately too, if you want. But the idea is we're going to simulcast live some of the workshops. We hope as many as 4 at a time. In Orlando, we have 4 workshops concurrent. So when you're at our Florida conference, you would normally be able to choose between 4 workshops, and we're planning to live stream all 4 of them. That is something brand new that we're trying. Also, the DC conference, which is in October, we hope that we will be able to do that fairly normally in October. If not, again, our goal is to do some live streaming from DC. But right now, we're able to have as many as 250 at that conference hotel using all the CDC guidelines. But the hope is things will loosen up a little by then. That's mid-October. So hopefully normally we have 700 people, 700 at that conference. But that's a really good one, and there are 7 concurrent workshops. We're going to plan to do at least 4 in DC concurrently, and that's coming up in October. You can see it October 11th. And the conference website, we have a whole section of where all of our events are. And frankly, I'll just be blunt, we've only planned 2 at this point ahead. We can't really know what's coming, and that's the truth, So I'm trying my best, but I can't predict the future. But we're hoping very much to do one in Orlando in September, and then the one in DC that's our big national conference in October. Any questions on that, let me know. I did hear from Philip Smith. Thanks for that advice. We're looking into all kinds of ways that we would host it. And so as far as if you can't personally...
Hey, I can make a suggestion.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it will make our advisors and administrators more comfortable if they knew that they had PPEs being distributed to the students that will be attending. I think that will make them feel more comfortable, because with my school, they told us that we cannot make any purchases or any allocations for anything towards our budget if it's not COVID-19 related. So my hopes is that we do get to go, but I think if the ASGA made our advisors and administration feel more comfortable with our safety, maybe we'll have a bigger chances of attending the conference.
That's good advice, and we'll definitely look into that. That's the first time I've been asked that specifically. These events that are coming up are still months away, so we're not sure what guidelines will be then. It's just hard to predict, isn't it? So that's the challenge. And the question about applying a coupon at the store, let's just write privately on that so we can keep focused on what we're showing you here.
Also, Butch, my officer, my vice president of programming, Carly Thompson, asked up in the chat, do we reserve our spots, or how do that go?
Okay, so let's go to the national conference. If you want to come to the conference, this is where you do it. You register here. There are fees to do that. There's a form. Obviously, there's a cost to attend, right? But if you can't come in person, then like I mentioned, we are offering that live stream option. That's a lot less, obviously, since you're not there. But it is an option, and we're going to treat it just like we're doing now, where you can chime in. You're going to be able to chime in, You're going to be able to ask questions, and our team is going to be live like we are at a conference. Instead of me just sitting here at my computer, it's going to be us doing the workshops like we normally do. So it'll be more of a real live feel than it is now with me as a talking head, if that makes sense. And that's all I am here, at my house here. But in DC and in Orlando, we plan to be there just like normal. Those of you that have attended our conferences know how awesome they are and useful. And it's a lot different than us sitting in a chair here. I get that. But when you're live in person, we're going to make it as close to possible as the live experience if you can't be there in person. Okay, so that's how you do it. You fill out this form and register right here. This gives you the details on how to do it. There's a form that'll pop up, and you just fill that out. Takes a few minutes, and then you're good to go. And so,
and I have one additional question, Butch, before we leave this conference in-person trip thing. So, do we do that ourselves, or do our advisors do that?
It just depends. A lot of schools will do it themselves, the student leaders. It just depends on the institution. And so you may have to have your advisor do it. I don't know. That's really something they'll have to determine. You work with them to determine that. Plenty of schools, as student leaders, have the authority to make that decision and to register on behalf of their student government. So some don't, though. It just depends. And I can't remember historically from your school how it's worked, but I can look into it for you privately, and we could write back and forth if you like.
Thank you, Butch.
Okay. All right. So the toolbox, again, is a nice resource. Conferences I've mentioned. We got 2 planned. We hope we'll do Chicago. We'll hope we'll do Dallas and also Los Angeles later this fall. That's the hope. Research is another area I wanted to share just quickly. Anytime you have needs there, you want to look at something you're trying to bring to your campus, ASGA does research all the time. This is the place where you can see some of the past research that we've done. I'm particularly excited about data that's linear, and I don't want to bore you other than to say we have 20 years of data now on every school there is. And we can tell you all kinds of things about your government, your budget over the year, your election turnout historically, even things like what's your typical activity fee around the country, things like what % are women in student government, and election processes, what's the average turnout, compensation in your government. That's something many of you may be compensated. Anybody here? I know one of you said yes. Anybody else compensated in some way through a stipend, scholarship, tuition waiver to serve in your government? So that's always useful to know where you stand on a national level. Yeah, so this is pretty common, and we have an entire section. I forgot to mention it. It's about the student government compensation right here. It's called the salary survey, and you can actually learn what 77% of student government leaders are compensated around the country. It all depends on by size, type, etc. Community colleges, about 45% compensate. Used to be higher. I don't know what the trend is there. I'm not sure why exactly, but private schools, 54.11%. Public schools, 85.88%. So if you're a public school, almost always you are compensated to serve as an officer in some way. But our data is now well over 1,000 institutions. This is inaccurate because we have updated it. So I need to update this, make sure our team does that. But nearly 1,000 schools have participated in our national study. And so there, that section is under the toolbox. Research, again, how do you research? Get us to do research for you. All you got to do is fill out this form, and it lets you get us to conduct research on your behalf. There's the form right here, and we're going to work with you to figure out what you need to know. And then we'll look at schools like you or make it a national study. It just depends on your needs, but we can do research for you as well. And that's what I wanted to show there. And so research is an area, and then Also, consulting, if that's ever something you want us to do at some point in the future, is help you rewrite your constitution, help you amend your constitution, your bylaws, analyze your structure. There are fees for that, but this is where you learn about it. sgconsultant.com. We can help you with limited amount of consulting at no charge to you as a member. But when you ask us to rewrite your constitution, there's a fee to do that. It's all based on time. It's all based on what's required. But sometimes we'll actually come to a campus and do all kinds of things for you. Like here's an example. We can do site visits, come to the campus and spend and do research and write a report on your government's status. We have one school in Pennsylvania that's asked us to the campus twice now, and they want to do it every 10 years. They did it like 14 years ago, and then they recently had us come back, and the goal now is every 10 years to see their status, what they've improved on, how they've changed, how they've gotten better, et cetera. So this is an area that we can help you with, and I urge you to explore that. It's under the consultant, sgconsultant.com section. And so there we go. And lobbying, ASGA is not a lobbying organization, meaning we don't champion causes for you. Our role is to help you get better as a government so you can lobby. And that's the objective here, is to make your government better on a local level so you are far more powerful and influential if you choose to lobby on broader issues. And ASGA is the nation's national resource on all kinds of statewide student organizations around the country. And we have, if you look at any state, for example, I'm based in Florida. If you look at Florida, ASGA has all the links to statewide student associations in the state of Florida with information on how to reach them and their contacts. And so around the country, there are about 70 statewide student groups. These groups exist so that in a state, if, for example, like I just heard from Bronx Community College, you have the SUNY system and you have the CUNY system. And that's exactly what I mean here. We can find Bronx Community College is not a member of ASGA. We can look into that. We do have you in our database, however, and we can actually look at that if you wanted briefly. But again, we're not a lobby group. I don't want to say what we're not. I do want to say what we are. We are a resource for you if you want to lobby, because we have all kinds of resources here on statewide student associations and also national organizations, including if you wanted to found a group. I'd love to see some of you found a statewide or regional or citywide student organization that helps your own similar institutions. And we have examples of those here: documents, elections information, constitution, all that kind of stuff. So
Rich, how do we go about starting an organization?
Well, there you go. So if you're in Louisiana, right? So let's find if there is one already. There used to be the board of, let's see, right now, there may not be any active.
You're talking about the Board of Regents, or?
Yeah, see the Louisiana Council of Student Body Presidents.
Yeah, look, I serve on that. I also serve on the Board of Regents, and I serve on the Board of Supervisors. Yeah, so
you've got, in a limited way, the Council of Student Body Presidents. That's limited compared to what I'd love to see it as. But the council could expand what it does by looking at these resources here, all these documents, articles, bylaws, how they develop codes, the constitution for the statewide group, finance code, how you fund things on a statewide level. This is how we do it. And again, ASGA can help you. We don't want you to reinvent the wheel. You've heard that term, starting something over from scratch, right? There's no need to do it because all these organizations, we have data on them. So you're going to be able to find that in this section here, and ASGA can help you. All you got to do is, again, go to the chat, right? Get help. Don't spend a lot of time wasting time trying to find things. And if you ever need anything, write me personally. Most of the time right now, I'm doing data entry and updates because since we're not traveling to conferences, I'm in the office. I'm just here all the time. So you can help. I just typed this wrong. Sorry about that. But here's my address again, email in the chat, and that's how to reach us. So you can write me personally and I'll look into whatever you need. Usually you can hear from us within minutes, certainly within an hour or two. Anybody here ever written me? Because I don't know who's here, but you can tell, usually I'm pretty quick about responding unless it's a weekend or I'm on vacation or something.
Wait, this is actually my first time meeting the actual ASGA guy.
Okay, all right.
I always wonder who it was.
Yeah, well, now you know. So we're real people and we're based, like.
Right, then the first time for everything.
Yeah, we have our organization, we have an office building in Florida that we own, and we're a real organization. It's not just some guy in a basement. There's multiple full-time staff that do this work and training. And you can always learn. For example, you can learn about any of us who are the speakers at a conference. You can learn about us right here. At any of the conference websites, click on speakers, and you'll see all the people that we bring in of different skills sets. Like you can read about each of the people, what our specialties are. You see, like Michael Anthony is more of the strategist. That Rashid, he asks you to look inward. A lot of his workshops, you can see all these different people that are part of ASGA as presenters and experts. And all of us have been former student government presidents or officers and advisors to student government. So we're veteran. There's me right there. I'm the generalist. I've done this so long that I can speak on lots of things about student government. But then you can read a detailed bio about all of us and just learn all about each of the people. Like Ernest Robinson's one of our speakers. You can read his profile. And so this is a real organization that we've been doing this work for a long time now. And if you're a member, I urge you to avail yourself of these resources. The resources are designed to make it easier on you, okay, and save you time. That's what it's for. And when it's used the way we hope you'll use it, you'll save a lot of time. You may save money. You may save certainly staff energy. It's gonna be a lot easier for you when you take advantage of this resource. And here's something nobody knows, but I'm gonna share quickly. For the last couple of years, we've been behind the scenes updating ASGA's backbone of the software that runs the organization. And we've been doing this behind the scenes for 2 years. We were nearly done when this pandemic struck. And so we're feeling pretty pleased and thankful that we completed all this before all this lockdown happened. Because now the website is more valuable than ever before. It's more easy to use. It's quicker to find things. So I'm really pleased about that. And that's been, and I had to drag our team and myself too through it because it's hard to make change, isn't it? It's hard to change things. And honestly, we were running software from the year 2000, if you can believe it. And we finally upgraded and it's done. That's like 97% done now. So that helps all of you because it'll make it easier for you to find what you need. Okay, so
I have a question.
Sure thing, go ahead.
How do we join the ASGA, and do we have to pay any fees for being a member?
Yeah, we're a membership organization now. The tour we're doing today, obviously free, and we've continued to offer webinars for free to anyone, even non-members, throughout the last few months. But this is a membership group. How do we pay our professional staff? We do it through dues. So you have to pay dues. If you're not a member, again, you can become a member very easily. And there are all kinds of resources to show you why it's valuable. But if you join, you just click on this. It's going to give you a form to fill out. It takes us minutes to do it. And then up here, you can see the actual dues. The dues are very reasonable. And I'm just being very blunt. For what we offer, most schools are in the $397 range around the country, but here's one for 4,000 to 10,000 students, start at $597 a year. If you're larger than that, if you're 10,000 to 20, it's $897. And then the really big schools, all they pay is $1,097. That's hardly a few dollars just daily. Most of us are in the category here around the country, barely $1 a day for the national resource for student governments. There's nothing like ASGA, and I don't mean to sound like a salesman, because it's just true. There is no resource like this. ASGA, when we were founded, there had never been a student government group as a resource on a national level, providing data and research and training and conferences. There are plenty of that do it on a statewide level, but nothing like this. This is so hard to do. I'm telling you. Just keeping information on schools is hard to do it. And we have to have a team of people doing this, gathering this data. In the last year, I personally have updated almost 1,100 institutions' records. Does anybody know how many colleges there are in America? Anybody know how many colleges there are in this country?
I would say billions or millions.
Not that many, but there are 4,500 in our 4,500 in our database. And so I've updated myself almost 1,100 institutions in the last year. What do I mean by that? I make sure that we have current officers, members, administrators who work with student government, even peripherally, and election information. We can find it. If we can find your campus press, your constitution, bylaws, all that stuff, we add to it. And so it's hard. And that's why nobody does it, because it's really hard. It takes thousands and thousands of hours. And so basically what I'm telling you is we do that and you don't have to do it, because our team's adding this data so you can use it. And trust me, when I say that searching on Google will not accomplish it. It's just not specific to student government. So go ahead and type in student government constitution on Google. That's going to not get you what you need. It'll get you constitutions, but not what you need. You need to look at schools like you that are your size, that are your type, in your state. You see my point? And so that's the point of ASGA, is providing this resource right in one single place for you. All right, so just a couple of more questions. We're going to conclude in just 2 minutes here. Anybody else have questions that you'd like to ask? You can always, again, make sure if you're a member, make sure we have your officers, members, and advisors. Just need a name, title, and email of each person. You can write me at butch@asgaonline.com. I'll make sure you get that set up so you can get passwords. If you're not a member, you can join. Very easy to do that. Usually within a few hours, we convert you to member status. Like for Bronx Community College, we have a profile on your institution. It has been updated in the last year. I know for certain because I personally did it. And so it probably will take us an hour or two to convert you to member status. And if you joined, then everybody can get passwords and start using this resource anytime, and then asking us questions and getting help. And so just think of us as, I hope you'll come to think of us, all of you, as like a second advisor. And even if your advisor is great, that person can be supplemented with additional support, and probably needs that because that person is overwhelmed a lot of the time with multiple responsibilities. Very few advisors, that's all they do is just student government. Most of them have multiple jobs. Any of you who are here can tell me that. I know a couple of you as advisors. So that's just, our research proves that too. So it's great to have additional help and support and knowledge and outside perspective and national perspective. And we've done this so long that our team, we just know all kinds of stuff about student government. And if we don't know it, we find it out. Every now and then I'll learn something I didn't know before. It's not like we're all knowledgeable, but our team knows a lot because we've done it so long, right? That makes sense, doesn't it? It's not like we're super intelligent. It just means we've done it a long time, so we're going to know a lot, you know? And so, and we're always doing research to get better and better and better. So,
Did I talk to you about getting your...
I'm sorry?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Butch. I meant to just say that it's not that, you know, you guys are hit and running or everything, but you just have a lot of knowledge because you've been dealing with student governments for so long.
That's exactly it. It doesn't mean that we're smarter than anybody. It means we've done it a long time, and our specialty is student government. So because of that, we're going to know more than someone who's just started a year ago, right? It just totally makes sense. So, and again, we're always trying to get better. So I would argue that if you looked at ASGA 2 years ago, we're a lot better than we were 2 years ago. Our conferences consistently are great and useful and helpful, but our resources online have gotten significantly better in the last couple of years, and they continue to enhance. Like I mentioned, and I'll just say it one more time, the section on the toolbox is, I'm really proud of that section as a resource to help you. And like the section on the website, it's so, we just got to improve our web presence, right? Particularly in a time like we're in. This just proves the point that if you don't have a web presence, we're in serious trouble, because how do we reach our students? How do we connect with them? How do they know what we do? And so this is an area that we've been enhancing, and fascinatingly, we had been enhancing it right before all this happened. So it was very timely. Okay. As we conclude, any final questions, just want to remind you, here's how to reach us, and I'll actually go to the section where you can see how to contact us, and here it is. So this is where you can contact us. This is our office in Florida, and you can see, I just did a guided tour, but you could schedule one for your rest of your organization if you want. So how to reach us, there's all the various ways to reach us. And you can click on our staff if you want to, and speakers anytime. Okay, any final comments or questions before we conclude?
Have a comment.
Okay.
This is my last one. I know I've been talking too much.
Okay, no, it's fine.
It's funny that you bring up the web presence thing, because we just had an executive, or not executive, we just had my executive meeting Tuesday, and that was one of the things that me and my SG brought to our advisor, that we feel like if we had more of a web presence, we'll have more of our student recognition. So at the end of the day, a lot of our students don't even know who we are.
Well, you're not alone, unfortunately, and you know, like I mentioned, I've updated 1,100 student governments in the last year. So I started last August, and I go August to August, and let me tell you that the vast majority are absolutely horrifically bad in student government websites. They're horrifically bad. I mean, absolutely terrible. There are some that have officers listed from 2010. Seriously, 10 years old, they haven't updated their website. And many don't even have one, as you mentioned. So you're not alone, unfortunately, but this just proves how valuable it is right now. We just got to have this, and maybe this is the time to do it. Whether you're an ASGA member or not, it doesn't matter. You need a web presence, and you need social networks so you can reach out to those students who you can't see now in person, at least for a while. And even when you're back to so-called normal, then we still need this. This proves the point. We've really got to improve how we connect with our fellow students, you know, and reach out to them, and how are they going to know about us and what we do for them. What are the accomplishments we've had? What are the projects that we're working on? And so this whole section, and I'll go back one final time to it, if I can find it, here we go. This section on the toolbox, and this gives us, here it is right here, the website tune-up. And this will tell you all about how to get this. What do you need to include? And it's not hard. Again, this could be something we talk about privately too. How do you set up a website? You have to get your college to approve it. You have to use branding, certain logos and colors. You have to have that approved. Sometimes you do. Some student governments do. But this again is a tool to save you a lot of time in starting from scratch. Any final comments? And we're going to conclude. Just before this meeting, I made sure that we could go a little longer today. I've been kind of cheap and not wanting to pay the Zoom fee to go longer, but I did it today. So I wanted to make sure we had plenty of time and weren't restricted by their 40-minute meeting. So,
Hey, Butch, you know what? I have one more suggestion.
yep.
You should get your organization to invest in a Zoom. That way everything is unlimited, like our SGA did.
Yeah, I just did that today. So anyway, hey, thanks so much for attending, everybody.
Mr.
And
Bush, real quick, I'm so sorry.
Yes.
My name is Carly. I'm the Vice President of Programming at BRCC.
okay,
And you had mentioned that we have the platinum status. Does that mean that I need to send you my email so that way I can get set up to access these different resources that you've been talking about?
well, absolutely. If you're a member, and you can always find that out, because if you don't have a password, then you know it's going to be hard for you to use these resources. But if you're a member school, which you are, then all you got to do is give us the name, title, and email of everybody you want to have passwords. And that applies for all of you that are still here.
I'm sorry, either myself or the president will get that sent over to you. And so we need to email that Bush email that you just posted.
Yeah, you can do it since I've been talking to you. I'll remember that. Now you can write Shauna, or you can write our main one, which is info@asgaonline.com too. So you can write that, and I get that, and 3 other people here get that email. So I would be aware of it, but you could write me directly, that's fine. Any of you that are here since we spoke, let's go ahead and just write me directly anytime you have a need.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, so, and any other final comments? I'm grateful that you spent time today with us, and we're always here for you. And just contact us at this email or the live chat. Here it is, if I can type. Here we go, online.com, one final time. And then the chat right here, right? And then how to contact is very simple. We don't make it hard to find us. Some websites I've noticed in companies, it's really difficult. You wonder who it is that's running it, but you can easily find out who we are, where we are, all that kind of thing. Makes it real easy. So, okay, thanks so much. Call anytime, write us, email, and we'll be doing another webinar next week on Thursday. Not sure what the title yet, but we'll keep you informed on that, all right? Thanks so much. See you soon.